Hello, this is Mrs. Neubauer, and let's work on our penmanship. What did the letter A say to B? See you later. So today our goal for lesson number 1 is we're going to build our finger, hand, arm muscles needed for writing. So in order to do this, we have to make sure we're in the correct alignment. So what I usually say is give me L. So L, and just remember the letter L. Your head's going to be nice and straight. Your shoulders are going to be back. Your back's going to be nice and straight. And then this is your arms resting on your desk. You also want to make sure you have a nice space around you to work. You don't want to have to bump anything. So let's give me L, and you're working at your desk. The sheets you need are going to be 1A, 1B, 1C. I have them in the back. And just remember at any time if you need to pause the video, you're more than welcome to pause the video and join me when you can. Okay, so the first assignment for today, or exercise, is to pin on our letters A, B, C, and X, Y, Z. So you can see you can use a push pin. Plug out the sheet. So when we hold our push pin, it's almost like we're going to be holding our pencil. So you're going to use your 2 fingers and your thumb to hold the push pin. Now remember, push pins do have a little sharp edge, so you got to be very careful. So when we're doing this exercise, if you're going to write with your right hand or your left hand, you're going to watch the other hand to make sure that you don't poke it. So first step is, remember, we're building our finger muscles mostly on this one. And what we're going to do is I'm going to switch to my document camera here. So just give me a second and I'll show you what we're going to do. So you have your push pin. And what you're going to do is make sure you get it adjusted right. Okay, so you can see there's those dots that set up the letter A. We have our vertical line. So what we're going to do is you're going to use the pin to poke through the dots to create the 6 letters. So when you pin in your writing hand, and in your other hand, you're going to keep it to the side. Now, before you start, you got to make sure your other fingers are away from your paper. You don't want to poke through and get yourself. You could also have a magazine underneath or maybe a newspaper if you worry about the desk. All right, so letter A, we're going to use for apple coming up here. So you're going to take your pen, you're going to poke through, try to do the center of each hole. If you kind of keep it on the side, you should be able to hold the paper. All right, so poke through. I'm only poking because my hand's off to the side. I won't poke if it's not off to the side. All right. So if you turn your paper over, you can see that you poke through the lines and it made a nice straight line. Okay, now I'm going to start on the circle of our A. Keep poking. Now remember, your hand's on the side. You can only start poking when your hand's off to the side. Very, very careful. Okay, so this exercise, as you're working, you're using your finger muscles, you're building your finger muscles, you're going to be using hand muscles, you're building your hand muscles, you're creating control. So it's all about when we work with our hands and our printing in the next few lessons, controlling your pen or pencil. And you only can do that when you have muscles for help. Okay, so flip it over, you got the letter A, awesome. Okay, so what you're gonna do for the rest of this is continue to work, push through your pen. And if you get done with that, what you can do is if you want to work on something for somebody else, you can use, you create this card. So you can just take a piece of paper, fold it in half, and then go on and find some line art on the internet, print it off. So I just found a sun. I really like this sun for some reason. I did not create this. This is from the internet. I taped it on and I did the same thing. So I just went through and I pushed through the lines, and then eventually it created a sun. So that's something that you could give to your family member, maybe a friend, maybe a neighbor, write something nice on the inside or draw a picture. So if you get sick of doing that, so you can also do like window art. You can create, so then when you put it at the window, the sun would come through. All right, so that's the first exercise. The second exercise is we're going to use yarn or string. So you need to pause the video and get your supplies. You're going to need some, I have some thread actually of string, and then I found some yarn. Or you could, what else could you use? I don't know. You could use something that's going to be together. Oh, you know what? Embroidery thread. There we go. All right, and you're going to need some glue. So if you want to get the supplies and then join me, this is going to be our end product. So I've already worked on my letters. You can see I have A, I have B, and I have X. So we do the same thing. We're still building your hand and arm muscles. So I'll switch back. I'll show you. All right, so you're going to grab your string or yarn. All right, it's just not clicking over. There we go. All right, so first thing you're going to do is you're going to have your glue, and hopefully you guys like glue on your fingers. You might get a little glue on your fingers. Okay, so let's work with let's do the circle first. So basically you're going to lightly press your glue. And actually right now you're building our goal of building our finger and hand muscles. Also using your arms to rotate around. Nice control. Okay, put the glue to the side and take your string. Now you know what? The yarn's actually a little bit harder, so I'm going to use the yarn today. I did my first one with string on my practice sheet. Okay, so you're going to lightly press down. It's going to be a little harder. So try to use your finger, the hand that you're going to write with mostly, to move around the yard, because that will help. I'm not saying you don't need to work on your other hand muscles on your other hand. But... all right. Oops. Okay, as you get close to the end, you're going to try to estimate where you need to cut your string. So you're going to need some scissors. Oh, I forgot you need to get scissors too. So if you need to pause the video and grab your scissors, please do that. All right, so fortunately my yarn's a little fringed at the end, but that'll be okay. All right, so we have our first one here. All right. Not too bad. Now, if you have to go back and kind of move it around a little bit, that's okay. Just building those finger muscles, getting ready for handwriting. And we can do a vertical line, nice and straight. Okay. All right, made the letter A. Just need to cut off the bottom of our letter stem. My yarn is nice and soft, so it's a little bit harder. Depends on what you're using. Okay, and I got my letter done. Okay, for the rest of the exercise, you're just going to continue to glue and place your string or yarn. All right, for 1C, we're actually going to, this one's going to be the most challenging yet. We're going to need beads for this. So what you're going to need next is to find some beads, or you could use bigger beads. You could use rice, you could use bean, you can use something else if you do not have beads. You also need a little dish to put them in so they don't roll around on your, oops, just lost one myself, roll around on your desk. And we need our glue, so keep your glue out. Okay, so I was working on mine, and I'll show you what we're going to do. Basically, you're going to do the same thing as when we have E, F, G, and we have our U, V, and W. So you can see I created my beads. Okay, so get your 1C beads exercise, and we'll continue our goal of building our finger muscles. So you're going to take your beads and put them in your dish. Have them in your dish ready to go. I have the smallest beads possible, so that means this can be the hardest. If you want to try maybe your first letter with larger beads, or you want to use beans or rice, that might be a little better, and then work smaller. You're having a hard time. All right, so this one's a little bit more challenging. So you're ready for the challenge? Let's go. Okay, so you're gonna just using the band that you write with, you're gonna place the bead on your line. You're gonna be getting glue on your fingers on this one, so that's okay. If you want, you can use a wet paper towel, have it on the side if you're not a big glue fan. I know some people aren't. I don't mind getting messy. All right, so basically you just take the beads and you're going to create the letter for this one. So if you notice, there's a lot more working with your fingers trying to pick up those beads. So that's what we want. We want nice control. And then as you place your beads too, you get nice control. Okay. And so on and so on. So I think you get the concept of this lesson. I'm just gonna finish to the end because I don't want my glue drying up on me before I finish. Okay. Okay, so let's just go over what you're going to do at home. You're going to finish up your pin. Working on your pins for 1A. Try to do as many letters as you can. You're going to finish working up on 1B with your yarn. Completing, you can always take time and maybe do a few now and do some later in the day. And the last one is you're going to finish up the beads. All right, so I hope you feel like we accomplished our lesson goal. Basically what we're going to do is continue to do kind of these exercises. So if you feel like you don't have a lot of control, especially with those beads, maybe work on something bigger, and then that'll help too. All right, so keep practicing, and remember it's all about progress and definitely not perfection. Have a good day.